Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Got a great broadcast lineup for you, as I hope we always do. But before I go another step further, before I take any other step, I got to say good morning to my brother from another mother, but we got the same father. This, yeah, I said that. This is Captain Leonard. Good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, Raheem and the Morning Glow family.
You see how I did it on that? Had to say with some enthusiasm, Leonard. Ain't got now bit of sense. Let me see who we got coming in here this morning. We got Burnt coming in this morning. We got 420 coming in this morning. Thank you all for joining us, and hopefully we can have a lot of other people joining us as well on the line. You could be a part of the conversation. All you have to do is give us a call at 508-924-3521, 508-924-3521. Would love to have your input. Captain Leonard, I got a question for you, man. Something been bothering me for the last several hours. And Leonard, you could help me out on this. How good, effective, or ineffective is the no knock warrant?
Well, I never supported no knock warrants in the first place
Mm-hmm.
because it's just an invitation to trouble
Mm-hmm.
and ridiculous, unforgivable mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
And the police just simply aren't intelligent enough to use no knock warrants responsibly.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
It's just basically no knock warrants is for surprising and killing people. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And see, I was watching the news and in California, the last case of the guy that's in California, he was in his bed and stuff starting to come out right now. So he was laying on his couch, actually, laying on his couch sleep. And they implemented the new no knock warrant and went into his house, and they say he reached for his gun or whatever, and they shot and killed him.
They will always say that.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why you can't. That's why no knock warrants is not a good deal anyway. And
Mm-hmm.
only people that enjoy no knock warrants is people that get some pleasure for killing people unexpectedly.
Mm.
Why else would you want to bust in someone's home and then not know while they sleep, but to take advantage of them? That's
Mm-hmm.
what thieves and robbers do.
And not only that, putting extra layers on this thing, man. They say that he reached for his well. He laying on his couch sleep. Somebody bust into his house. The average person, Lynn, I'm gonna tell you something. You bust in my house, and I got an opportunity to reach for my. I don't know who you are, and I have an opportunity to reach for my man. Look here, I'm reaching,
That's
and
what
if
you
I
should.
get and if I get my hands on it, God bless you.
That's what you
God
should do.
bless
That's
you.
what you
Yeah.
should do.
And
And,
so,
and there's no other response but that
mhm,
one. That's the
yeah,
best one.
exactly. But for these individuals to come into these people's homes, come into their homes unannounced, bust the door down, come inside, and they expect for them just to be little calm little citizens. Oh, you in my house?
Hmm.
Oh, I didn't know you were coming. Would you like some cookies?
Hmm.
I got some milk in the refrigerator for you.
Hmm.
Better.
And this is the thing about it. You black city council people, you black elected officials need to be against BS like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Period. Because you know
Mm-hmm.
what they're doing with it and why they insist on having it.
Mm-hmm.
So stop supporting that type of behavior by your police departments.
Exactly. And they say that they went into the man's home unannounced. They say he reached, but the average person is going to reach. And even if he did, so what? You bust into this man's house. Now they shot and killed him. Later to find out, they went in the wrong house.
It's the same thing they did to Jamarian Robinson.
Yeah, they went in the wrong house. Now this man is laid on his couch. They say it was drug related. Didn't find any drugs in this
They
man's house.
always say it's drug related.
Yep. Yep.
Always.
Did
Always.
look here. Didn't have the man had no priors.
Right.
Had
It's
no
part of
priors.
a it's part of a murderer's script.
Mm-hmm. I'm like, wow.
That's what it is.
And they're still trying to support because they say it's Leonard. Leonard, it is the element of surprise. We're
I
getting you
know.
with the element of surprise is what they say.
Exactly. They'll watch you all day come and go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All day.
Mm-hmm.
Never stop you.
Yep.
They'll wait
Yep.
till you and your children lay down and go to sleep, then come in your bust in your house and have a reason for killing everybody in it.
Like a coward.
Yeah, that's what
Like
they
a
do.
coward, man.
That's what they do.
Wow. Wow. Curtis, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, fam. What's going on?
Hey, doing good. Kurt, we talking about the and how do you feel about it? Everybody got their own feelings and everybody feel the way that they feel about it, man. But what's your take on the no knock warrant? Where they could just bust in your house. The guy in California just lost his life. They in the wrong house. Say they bust in his house, say he reached for his weapon. Somebody coming to your house, man, you're gonna reach for something. But they say he reached for his weapon and they shot and killed him. Said it was drug related, found no drugs in the house. The man have no priors. Kirk, what is this no knock, man? What do you think about that?
The no knock warrant to me is nothing but an excuse to violate people's rights. Like, I don't know how else to put that. If you are the authorities, right, your job is to protect and serve. It's not to arrest. It's not to I can't even think of the word that I want to say, but it seemed like to me like the police department is forgetting to do what they're hired to do.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
nothing about them shooting them, nothing about them being authorized to not have to knock at the door says anything to me about protecting and serving.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't understand what is the purpose of a no knock warrant?
Mm-hmm.
If you're supposed to serve a warrant, what is the purpose of a no knock warrant? So, I mean, I get it. Some police will say, well, we got authorized no knock warrants because we serving a warrant and we knock at the door and the perpetrator put rounds through the door.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we came up with a no knock warrant. It's a slippery slope, man.
Well, they try
But
to say, and you're absolutely right,
I
Kurt.
don't,
They try to say it's an element of surprise, is what it is, the element of surprise. But you know, you went in the wrong house, you shot and killed the person that had no priors. You in the wrong house, have no history. What you supposed to be going to get is not there. Surprise! You messed up.
Surprise.
Yeah, exactly. Surprise, man. You messed up. You messed up. But they
but
gonna
here's the thing. They done this. They done this a couple times. I can't remember the last
They've
case.
been doing it. They
But
always do it.
yeah, last case, the last time I heard of something happening like this, I think they killed a dude and was they in the right house? I don't even think they was in the right house.
yeah, they were not.
And they served a no knock warrant. They in the wrong house.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, Breonna Taylor. Y'all came to get her. You come to get her. You come to get her man.
Mm-hmm.
You telling me that nobody even tapped the system? This man is in jail already.
Mm-hmm.
So if you needed to get him, you could have went to the jail and got him.
Exactly.
So
And didn't have to
you
do
right.
it.
Like,
And didn't have to do a no knock.
you right. No, they didn't have to do that. And what's happening is people being lazy and they not actually doing the work,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you get a warrant, you know, you're police, you getting a warrant. You know, you can't just rely on the fact that, okay, you got some pull, you can call the judge in the middle of the night, get a warrant. You know, you got to do that. Okay, who you got a warrant for? Okay, what's their last known address? Okay, where are they right now? They could have case searched and found out that old girl man that they was looking for, which was her ex-man,
Mm-hmm.
was locked up already.
Yeah.
You see what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So like, I can get the element of surprise, okay, just thinking of it from a strategical point of view. But it ain't a surprise, dumb, if you ain't did the work.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow. Leonard?
Same thing. I mean, big shout out to former Senator Vincent Fort here, who actually was brave enough to support and propose a excuse me, law challenging the no-knock warrants here
Mm-hmm.
in Georgia, in Atlanta, in the city of Atlanta as well. Some police forces understand and are trying to limit, but you have to get rid of the no-knock warrant and
Yeah.
do diligent work and do what you're
Mm-hmm.
supposed to do. Be very careful right now, Black people, in terms of, quote, police reform,
Mm-hmm.
because it's taking on a whole different character other than what activists have ever fought for. Police reform has a lot to do with how the police do what they do in regards to surveillance and crime and all these types of things. However, most of these reforms do not address police brutality. So unless you're taking direct recommendations from councils who have addressed police brutality and things like that to lessen these types of events, what type of police reform are you really doing? Is it something to save on your budget? Allocating funds other places? I mean, you got in such an uproar when you heard defund the police, when
Yeah.
really it should be reappropriation of police funds.
Mm-hmm.
If you need to hire more police, for instance, why would you go buy a tank
Exactly. Exactly.
if you don't have
Mm-hmm.
enough police? You need to hire more police officers,
Mm-hmm.
providing job opportunities for people in the community to participate and actually become law enforcement officers.
Mm-hmm.
See,
Mm-hmm.
there's a thin line between, what the truth is and these political tricks. Watch what unfolds in, for instance, New York City.
Mm.
Watch that. Watch that play out. Because here you have someone who, quote, who has been about resolving police misconduct issues,
Mm-hmm.
African American, very vocal against it.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's mayor, former
Wow.
police officer. Do you want to be mayor or do you want to be police chief? Pick one
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and stay in your lane. But I would hope you haven't become mayor to enact the same oppressive police tactics under the guise of all this crime.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this question: if they're performing, and see, this is such, and Kirk said it right, is a slippery slope, because this is so tricky right here. Now they went in there in the wrong house, quote, serving a no knock warrant. Bless you, serving a no knock warrant. Went in the wrong house, killed this man. Should they be held accountable for that? Should they be held accountable? Should
Yes,
charges
they
be?
should be. Yes, they
Mm-hmm.
should be. And the person in charge of that task force that did that should be immediately removed and considered no longer fit for duty. Because it does not make any sense that we give people so much authority with guns and then they not even intelligent enough to make sure they're in the right location. That's unexcusable.
Wow.
You can't
Wow.
have that type of job and then believe that oh, I made a mistake. No,
Yeah.
somebody's dead.
Oops. Oops.
And anybody that supports that, they on the other side.
Mm-hmm. Curtis, what do you say to that, man? Should they be held? Everything about this whole situation, everything about this whole operation was wrong. Everything about it was wrong. Should they be held accountable for it? Because now you got somebody that's dead. Now the mother got to bury her son. He may be a father, a husband, or whatever, but he's dead because you and your operation made a mistake, went in the wrong house. Should he be held accountable? Should somebody be held accountable for this, Curtis?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Unequivocally, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, man.
Now, and hold on.
I'm
Let
just
me throw this out there, Kurt. Now, what would you say to the people? Because we got people that's listening to us right now that say, "Well, they were just doing their jobs. They were just doing their jobs. They're police officers. They were doing their jobs." What do you say to that person, Curtis?
if you do your job wrong, you will get fired.
Mm.
Go into corporate America and do something that makes the overall stock price drop
Mm-hmm.
100%. See what happened to you.
Yes, sir.
And
Go,
this,
Yes.
and
go,
also,
go into auto mechanic, a technician shop, and do something wrong with somebody's car and it blow up and see
Mm-hmm.
what happened to you.
Mm-hmm.
Go any number of places and do your job wrong on purpose and see how long you keep that job.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my bad. You might keep it because certain people have privileges that other people don't.
Come on.
All right. But I'm like L. L was absolutely right a minute ago, what he said before you came to me. But I'm like, L, look, man, we both are students of history. This no not want thing, you know what it remind me of? It
What's that?
remind me of the Gestapo.
Mm-hmm.
that's basically what it is.
Mm.
It reminds me of the Gestapo.
Mm-hmm.
The Gestapo would hit people doors.
Yep.
You understand what I'm saying? They hit people doors. They ain't knocking nothing. They coming in, they grab
Mm-hmm.
folks,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Russia has the same thing going on. All these dictatorships, they got the same thing going on. North
Same
Korea,
thing.
Wow.
the same things going on. The police department, because they're gonna understand the strategy. The closest you're gonna get to perpetuate fear in the people is through the police department. It's not the military.
Mm-hmm.
You send the military in on a group of civilians anywhere, and you will go down in history as tyrannical. That's why we still talk about is it Beijing?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
When they mowed down all those folk and
Tiananmen
Beijing
Square.
speaking out, they were speaking up for human rights. Tiananmen Square.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you send a military in on regular civilian folk, that is deemed inappropriate because civilian folk do not have the power other than the people itself to fight you back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow.
So
Wow.
what you do is you get hold of the police departments. A president should never be a lead voice in the police department. Period.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
that's Gestapo.
Wow.
And it's crazy to see how people are just sitting by. Well, it's crazy, but it's not crazy. The truth is, the Americans, and I've heard this from several foreign foreign-born friends of mine. Americans are so ignorant to history and so self-perpetuatedly ignorant that the writing could be on the wall to tell you don't do that, and they'll
Mm-hmm.
do it anyway. They won't even read the wall,
Mm-hmm.
And then last, I'll just say this. I'll end with this because I know we on 3 minutes on. The truth be told, if you want to reform the police department and you want to get those bad apples off the police department, all you got to do, the first thing you do, if I became the attorney general today, the first thing I would probably do is walk into my office, grab all my advisors, and say, I need something drawn up right now
Mm-hmm.
because we need to remove the qualified immunity clause from every union contract. And if we got to fight it all the way to the Supreme Court, then that's what we got to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The minute you remove qualified immunity, you will see all of those cowards. And I'm not saying that every police is a coward. It takes a special kind of person to get up every morning and put on a bulletproof vest.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You understand? I did it a couple times. It takes a special kind of person to get up every morning to put on a bulletproof vest. There's a whole psychic that go with that.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
if you remove the qualified immunity clause, what you're saying is you no longer have the ability to carry out crime without any oversight.
Mm-hmm. Good deal. Good deal.
No,
Mm-hmm.
like everybody.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. We got a couple of more people. We got Badger on the line with us, but we got on the phone line. We have Toussaint. Toussaint, good morning. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing well, man.
Good deal. Toussaint, what we're talking about this,
well.
what we're talking about this morning is that how do you feel? How do you feel about that no knock warrant, where the police officer have where they could actually just come in here, bust your door down, come in there, grab you, and take you off? Because I was looking at the news, and it happened again. It happened again in California. I think it was San Diego, where the police busted in somebody's house. He was late. The guy was laid on the couch. He was asleep, and they busted in his house. They say he reached for his gun. He laid on the couch, sleep. You bust in his house. The average person gonna do something. They're gonna reach for something. You coming in my house, man? I don't know who you are. I don't know who you are. And they say he reached and they shot and they killed him right there on his couch. Come to find out, Toussaint.
Yeah.
Come to find out, man.
Wrong one.
They say it was a drug deal. Man had no priors. There was no drugs in the house at all. And just like you said, they were in the wrong house. Toussaint, how do you feel about this no knock? Talk to me, brother.
So so that means any one of us can be dead at any time.
At any time.
Because if you, I don't care who you are, you could be, and I'm saying this because this is where I'm sorry. I have to apologize.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can be the Pope or my pastor,
Mm-hmm.
you walk in my house without me knowing it,
Mm-hmm.
and I wake up and see somebody in the house, my thought is defense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the man in his house sleep wakes up to an intruder
Yes.
and
Yes.
reacts
Mm-hmm.
because you intrude.
Mm-hmm.
Really, that's what you're doing. You're just trying to make it legal.
Yeah.
Because of the no knock. Somebody put that in there. You know what I thought about? And my question is, do y'all think, and it's just as way out there, somebody gonna get me for this one? Somebody gonna get me for this one.
Uh-oh, come on.
Because we know that what is it, ARA, IRA,
Mm-hmm.
the gun people.
Mm-hmm.
NRA.
Thank you. And then it makes me wonder if underneath the cover, most of the union that the police departments do, I wonder if there's some, I'll just go ahead and say it, they're Klan members.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I wouldn't doubt it. I can't say definitively that there is, but I wouldn't doubt it either. I wouldn't doubt it.
Because they stick together,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
right or wrong,
Mm-hmm.
and that was wrong.
Yeah.
Because you can't walk in a person's house and wake them out of sleep
Mm-hmm.
and just shoot them.
Yeah. I mean, my question is, what do you expect for them to do, man? You know, they on the couch, they're asleep. They're asleep on their couch. And all of a sudden,
Yeah.
here comes somebody busted in their house. What do you expect? What do you think they're going to do? The average person, if we got some heat, he gonna reach for it. Hold on, man. And there now you done shot the man dead. Can't go back, can't undo it. You try to say it's drug related. There was no drugs found in the house at all. He had no priors, clean record. You in the wrong house. You in the wrong house. Toussaint, that's too much, man. That's too much.
How do you go after it? And how do you go about it? Because whoever sent them in there,
Mm-hmm.
For whatever reason, I know that drugs is and gang violence is a terrible thing.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go in a person's house unannounced and for no reason, really, and if I'm sleeping, this is the thing. This is the killing part. If I'm sleeping, definitely a killer.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm talking about.
Exactly. We got
I missed that one.
we got quite a few people on the phone line. I'm gonna circle around. I'm gonna definitely want to get to each and every one of you, and I appreciate you calling in. Let me go to Badger because our Badger been holding on for a second. Badger, what's on your heart, brother? Good morning. How you doing this morning?
Oh, I'm just wondering how multiple different things with this. For one, how did they go in the wrong house? And two, if they would have went in the right house and took out the right person, people still gotten upset because of some other reason.
Mm-hmm. My thing,
Um,
there's so many different layers to it. Go ahead, brother. Finish your thought.
and so I'm just looking at society as a whole. It just seems like it doesn't matter what a person does anymore. Someone somewhere is going to want to take them to court or want them to go to jail for some reason because of their personal problems.
But my issue, Badger, and you correct me if I'm wrong on this, but my issue is when is it against the law? When is it so terrible for a person to lay on his own couch and go to sleep and not have to worry about somebody bombarding themselves in their house when they did nothing wrong?
It should already be against the law.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least I think it is in most states. So they should be, they should take responsibility for their dumb action of going into the wrong house. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
They need to be responsible for that. There needs to be, some kind of help given to the family and all that kind of stuff. Because that is a mistake.
Wow.
So I'm talking about a mistake in the fact that they ended up in the wrong house and then ended up murdering someone because they were too dumb to double check and make sure that was the correct place. The other thing I find curious is something that I thought I heard Donald mention. If they were going to the place based on what the higher ups were telling them, I'd be also targeting the higher ups.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. A lot of people should have to be held responsible. I say it like this. I was gonna say it another way, but I'm gonna clean it up a little bit. A lot of people should be held responsible. Toya with a T. Good morning. How you doing this morning?
Get money. How you doing?
Hey, doing good. And Toya, call me after. I got some information for you. Call me after the broadcast, okay?
Heard on that.
Okay, good deal. Now, what's on your heart?
Okay, come on, let's go. Now listen here. Just because you do got a warrant, if you laying on your bed sleep, if you ain't pull out no gun on them, it's still wrong. So we not gonna pick and choose. Let's be for real. Then what they do to black folk. I don't live in a white community, so I don't hear about the white cops that come in and shoot and murder white folks. This is what they do to black people. They did it to an 80-something-year-old woman in Atlanta. Oh, did they do that to Rayshard Brooks when he fell asleep in his car? Oh my goodness, that sounds like the same narrative with Breonna Taylor. We keep acting like these news is made for us. Let me tell you something. If your skin ain't right in mine, you ain't gonna never get what we got going on. You're gonna never get it. You'll never understand it. You're always gonna sit back and think, oh, well, yeah, even if it did happen, they're gonna think of an excuse anyway. He's a thief. Put your knee on his neck and walk in the door and shoot him because they shouldn't have been in trouble anyway. But they wrong. They're wrong. There's different agendas. This is the thing that kills me with people. As long as you can assume what happened, it's okay. But when you find out the truth, oh, that's what happened. Now it's, oh, yeah. Now hold them accountable. Hell no. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
No.
Mm-hmm.
As an authority figure, just like the military. Listen, the military can't go shooting them any doggone thing. There's protocols they got to follow. And in the event you act like you want the business, whether you're a kid or a woman, they're gonna go ahead and take you out because they're on a mission. So why aren't our cops the same way?
Mm-hmm.
This been going on since when did that old 80-something-year-old lady get murdered in Atlanta? How many years ago was that? Because it was the wrong door. No knock. What about my constitutional rights? Here we go again.
Mm-hmm.
I need to look up my constitution again. I've been slipping on that one. Because not only do I have a right, y'all know New York finna go through a lawsuit right now because they had all them people up there in New York talking about they couldn't carry no guns. So now they got to go back and deal with them people because that's constitutional right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So now it don't make no difference as a human being until things like this hit your doorstep, until it's your grandmother, until it's your nephew that wasn't a drug dealer,
Mm-hmm.
until it's your uncle that have mental problem, it's never an issue. Because that happened, it happened in black communities. Oh, that happened to a black guy. Oh, well, black people are always doing something anyway. That's the mentality of the clowns that sit back and think that it's okay for police officers to walk into any apartment, whether you're a criminal or not, and shoot you, and you're unarmed. You sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Walk up on a police officer's door while they sleep. Or why they sit and park somewhere, just run up on them and knock on their door and watch what happens. Like, come on with the jokes. No, we got to start holding people accountable. But this is why they keep getting along with it, because we still sit back talking about, ooh, look what happened. Like, no, like we have to do something. And it's going to take a collective. But this is what we do. This is what we do. This is what we do with kids we know get raped in homes. This is what we do when we know kids get beaten homes. And that ain't our business. Oh, that's their kid. But we're really not looking at what's going on with the world. So no, I don't believe that you should be able to have a no-knock warrant, especially if it's a crime where I'm not a murderer. If I'm not a toucher of little kids, then you can meet us down there, honey. You need to chase me for about 17 years before you feel like, you're going to get a no-knock warrant and come in. I just don't believe it. There's too many loose holes when it comes to dealing with us. It's always some inside drug deal go bad, and not for nothing. Back in the 80s, the 77th precinct in New York, they shut the whole precinct down because all the cops were selling drugs out of the precinct. So again, with all these narratives, they got too much power, too much control, and we can't keep affording to lose people because of a so-called mistake.
And I'm gonna say this. We're gonna go to Rico as well, but I'm gonna say this right here. It's a mindset. A lot of times, it's a mindset that certain individuals have, because if y'all remember back in the day, the Central Park Five, your ex-president was the one that did a lot of funding to get these guys incarcerated. And when it really discovered that they didn't do anything, that they had nothing to do with it, he said, well, good, good they got arrested. They did something. I know they did something. And that's the mindset. I know they did something. They did something. Rico. That's totally heartless, brother. Good morning. How you doing this morning?
I can't complain, man. Congratulations and welcome to a beautiful new day.
Yes, sir. Congratulations to you as well. What's on your heart, brother? This no knock warrant, man. It's not going right.
To be honest with you, man, I could just hang up now because Toya said everything I wanted to say.
Exactly.
Every bit of it, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really a indictment on how the government has too much power. And to be honest with you, when you got that much power, you shouldn't have too much room for mistakes. When you got that much power, you shouldn't have room to get away with fatal mistakes.
Yeah.
That's too much power to have to not make sure what you are doing is the right thing, to make sure you're prosecuting the right person. It's too much power to have to make sure that somebody can't prevent you from targeting somebody and prosecuting them just because, setting them up. So we see this abuse of authority. The thing is how do we change it?
Yeah.
You brought up the old woman in Georgia. Well, I told you just brought up the old woman in Georgia. Cassandra just mentioned a couple of days ago about what happened with her nephew.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, and I want to make correction. If you're talking about Amir Locke, that happened in Minneapolis, Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
If that's the same person, unless they did another one last night. But
No,
the one that happened a few days ago, that
mm-hmm. Yeah,
that was in Minneapolis.
Mm-hmm. Okay, it might have
But
been.
but the thing is the people have to stand up. That's the reason why, as human beings in this existence, we have to understand that we really make the decisions on what we support or don't support.
Mm-hmm.
If we get unhappy enough and we stay on top of it, I mean, think about it. That's been over a decade ago, more than a decade ago that happened with that old woman in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, but it sort of, you know, makes you think about the power and then who's always on the losing end most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you know, it's really something we have to stand up and fight against. We have to make sure that these people have penalties and consequences behind their mistakes. Because, like I said, the most logical part of it is that these people have too much power to ruin your life and impose their will on you, come in while you're asleep, and to kick your door in while you're asleep and the home that you pay for. You know, here it is, you live in the American dream.
Mm-hmm.
You did everything the way you're supposed to do it. You might just be living in the wrong neighborhood, but then somebody made a mistake.
Come on.
And put a warrant on your house. Now here it is, your teenage son dead, or your young black son dead.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah, he pulled a gun. Maybe he did pull a gun. But had you not been in the wrong house, you wouldn't have shot him. But you know what the real sad part about this is? Like we just said with Breonna Taylor and all these other situations, they won't get penalized or punished for murder.
Mm-hmm.
They'll pay some money. They definitely gonna pay some money because it was a mistake. But ain't nobody gonna get punished for that death.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother?
Just listening, like the issue with no-knock warrants has been always debated. And like I said, we had a senator here who pushed for legislation. What happened after that incident with Katherine Johnson was the creation of the Atlanta Citizens Review Board. And also, even a neighboring city took another step as it relates to knock warrant, with the lieutenant actually requesting that these officers use this a lot less. And the way this works is law enforcement encourages a judge that they have whatever evidence they need to do these types of things. A judge signs off on it, and they go and doing what they're doing. Now, anybody that thinks that this is okay have to understand what you're doing. You ain't doing nothing but rescuing drugs. What else are you doing?
Yeah.
What else are you doing? This is not. They almost blew a baby's face off here because they threw a grenade in his crib. Okay.
Wow.
So when you all are talking about, and you know, we're gonna get somebody going, well, all police aren't bad or whatever. We ain't talking to you. Don't change the subject. We're not talking about what coulda, woulda, shoulda. No, we're talking about what you actually did. We don't need to make up no story. The story's there.
Yeah.
It just happened. It didn't happen in history. It still happens every day. No-knock warrants violate civil rights.
Yes.
And stop allowing the police and law enforcement agencies to making you believe it's something other than that. You take the least educated, people whom I'm sure have a little bit higher desire to impose themselves on people, okay? And you take them with no education and then give them a job with the most authority to murder innocent citizens. What do you think they're going to do?
Exactly.
You can't even check it to make sure you're at the right house.
And that's the simplest part of it right there, man. Just check the address.
You can't even check and see that you actually have a positive ID on the suspect. Shout out to Jamarian Robinson's mother, who is continuing to fight for justice for her son, whom an actual federal task force did the same thing to, and put almost 76 holes in this boy's body.
Yes, sir.
See, the reason why this is okay with a lot of people is because it predominantly happens to African Americans. That's why it's okay. That's why everybody go to the ballot and you vote for these people talking about they're going to reform the police and they're going to do this. And well, let's see what you do. Let's see what programs you're providing and training you're providing for police officers. Let's see what actual actions have you taken, like the city of Brookhaven, for instance, who are decreasing the use of the no-knock warrant. That was just something that they chose to do to try to avoid this situation.
Yep.
I mean, one, what are you supposed to do with a warrant? The whole purpose of a warrant is actual documentation on why you at somebody's house. Well, hell, if you don't put a bullet in their head, how they gonna read it? How they gonna read it? These warrants are supposed to be conducted under supervision. So there's a supervisory aspect to it. What are you supervising if you're killing the wrong people? You just as ignorant as the people that's supposed to be reporting to you.
Exactly. Wow. Curtis, what's on your heart, brother? Charles, coming to you next. Curtis?
You know, every time I hear hit the mute. Every time I hear the whole topic of a no-knock warrant, right? You know, I'm a movie dude. The first thing I always go through my mind, bro, is Training Day. You know, first thing go through my mind is, oh, y'all was serving a no-knock warrant, because that wasn't no law enforcement task. That was a robbery task.
Yeah.
Y'all was there to rob whomever you thought, and you just messed up because you got so caught up in getting the money that you ain't paying no attention to the dough you was hitting. And it wouldn't surprise me if it don't come out to be just that. You know, man, you know, the complacency that people have, folk need to pay attention, man, because this same complacency that you have could possibly come back on you. You understand? Like, and of course we seen in Training Day that their whole movement and their whole purpose was a lot bigger than the police department. Do y'all remember the meeting in the bar? It was the judge sitting at that table, man.
Wow.
If you go back and watch the movie, when Lincoln walked in the bar, one of them dudes, if I'm not mistaken, was a judge. So this ain't, I mean, Cali been, man, it takes a special kind of person to be a police. But I'm telling you, this qualified. I'm a strong and fervent believer, man. You got all of these issues because I'm gonna break it down like this right here, and that's all I'm gonna say. If somebody come to me the day of tomorrow and say, Mr. Curtis, yes, look, we're gonna allow for you to create a drug, make the drug, distribute the drug, count your money off the drug with no accountability. But here's the catch. I want you to investigate yourself, arrest yourself, prosecute yourself. Do you think I'm ever spend a day in jail?
Never. 3 minutes, Kurt. Hold on.
Never. Why do you think most of those, I'm gonna finish it up like this. Why do you think most of those police, when they come down on a case, most of them will try their best. Their law team try their best to get a judge, not a jury. How do you think that is?
Because it's the same process.
Most judges are ex-cops.
Exactly. Let me go to Charles. Charles, good morning. How you doing this morning?
What up? What up? What up, man?
Hey, what's going on with you? We talking this morning about the no knock law. And you know, and Rico, you was absolutely right. It was Minneapolis. It was Minneapolis what had happened. And I said California earlier. I said San Diego, I think I said, and that was off base. But it was in Minneapolis where the guy, you know, laid on his couch, sleep. I'm sure you've seen the story. Laid on the couch, sleep, and they came in, no knock, invading this house. They say he reached for a gun. They say what average person, if anybody's coming to your house unannounced and you got some heat, average person gonna reach for the heat and be smart. They shot and killed him. They shot and killed him right there on his couch. And they said it was a drug. They said it was a drug case or whatever. No drugs was found. He had no priors. Not only that,
Wrong house.
to top it off, they was at the wrong house.
Right.
What do you think, Charles, about this no knock warrant thing, man? Does it make sense? Is it working, or are they off base with that?
I think it's more of police acting like what Kurt's just saying. They're acting more like gangsters than police.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in certain areas, why do they do what brought no knock warrants about? You understand? Now, these guys were straight up incompetent. All right. Remember when the cop a while back, matter of fact, this guy won his case the same day Kyle Rittenhouse won his case. A no knock warrant. They went into his house and he shot the cop.
Mm-hmm.
A black guy shot the cop. He won his case. Matter of fact, he was a felon at that. And he shot the cop and won his case because it was a no knock warrant thing. And I think you all was talking about the no knock warrant thing that happened in Atlanta. Remember with the old lady?
Yes,
I heard somebody
absolutely
say that before my phone messed up.
Mm-hmm.
So the no knock warrant was brought about for some reason. I remember back when they had Red Dog and all these cats used to jump out cars and, you know, jump out vans and stuff. Those things were brought on for a reason. You get what I'm saying? You didn't see no knock warrants in every city. You only see them in certain cities. And they were brought on and they could be taken away the same way by the people. If the people vote the right way to get these type of people out of there who bring on such things as no knock warrants, they'll be gotten rid of.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's a very dangerous game to play when you know today most people have weapons.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So if the guy would have came in the wrong house, if they would have came in the wrong house and this guy would have blasted all of them, more likely, Minneapolis, more likely he would have probably won his case, but still, he would have have spent a lot of money
Mm-hmm.
to win the case.
Mm-hmm. And
So
only thing he was doing is trying to take it.
No knock warrants.
Only thing he was trying to do was take a nap on his couch, man. That's all he was trying to do, man.
I don't agree with no knock, and it was the incompetence of the police and that police force that got him killed. I think the video, the guy was talking racist. It wasn't anything racist. It was incompetence. Sometimes we put some people so far on a pedestal that we don't want to call them incompetent. We'd rather call them racist. No, they're incompetent. They're incompetent until they've proven that they're a racist. And no knock warrants in the hand of an incompetent cop is a terrible thing.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's good.
Incompetent police force.
Mm-hmm.
is a terrible thing. It's terrible.
Absolutely, absolutely. Toya with a T, talk to me, sis.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that like this has been allowed to happen like so long. People are immune to it. It's just like whatever now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, we have government agencies that from the beginning of the Constitution that were supposed to be set in place to help enforce these rules for us constitutionally, even when it comes to being free as a slave. But they were also involved. This is why we always talk about the systematic racism, because we know that there are some people who are still racist, and we know that those kind of people, that energy built this system, and then those people, that energy is still in the system.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it's still happening. and it's because we're black. Listen to the sympathy that they gave this young man who took his little narrow behind. His mama took him across county lines
Mm-hmm.
to go call himself defending with the police. The police moved out the way, let his little white behind walk past with a pistol, talking about he gonna go defend himself in the mix of everything that was going on after multiple unarmed murders of black people by police. And they got empathy for him, talking about, oh, well, he was just going to help.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
what we're talking about.
Mm.
The same way that should have been about the black man behind the other side of the door that don't know what's going on outdoors on the bed sleep. It should have been just as with the white boy calling himself coming to kill. Oh, so y'all just don't care. Oh, if you want to kill the white people that feel like they with the white Black Lives Matter people too, then go on ahead. I'm just gonna move out the way. But now y'all do something to him because we right.
Mm-hmm.
We superior.
Mm.
Now y'all do something to him. Oh, we got sympathy. Oh, but they were out there writing and it wasn't. Oh, but they were out there doing this. Other people coming in doing it. Oh, but they're that. So it's okay for you to kill them because they're not this, that, and just something because you don't know people. Come on with the jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's understand. You know that the FBI has a database that keeps well, not really, but kind of, sort of. They kind of like track all this stuff. But do you know how many of police agencies we have across the world? Over 18,000 agencies.
Mm-hmm.
Out of these 18,000 agencies, do you know how many of them really report some of these shootings and killings? I'm talking about some of these nationwide, but all over the news. You know how many of them report them to the Federal Bureau? A lot of them don't, even though I believe there's a presidential order that says that these agencies are supposed to be reporting them. But when you talk about stories like Eric Gardner, I can't remember all the names. You got to go on my TikTok. But there's a few names that the federal don't even have it on that list of people who were not only shot unarmed, but you know, black people that were shot unarmed by police. There's ain't even no record of it, even though it's been all over television. That is what we're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely.
That part right there. You know what I mean? So again, I don't know where this conversation can go because this is another repeat conversation. We've been having the same conversation now for the last 15 years strong. I think it might have died down a little in the 80s, right? But I think now it's kicked back up like the last 15 years. And I'm just tired of having the conversation. I'm not talking about it. It is what it is. It's a human bust in my house. That's why I keep my nose clean.
Yeah.
That's why I do what I'm supposed to do. You understand what I'm saying? I don't do nothing no more. And if a human busts in my house, you can be the mayor, you could be the governor, you could be the president. If you bust in my house, then we just gonna have to handle the consequences that we gonna have to handle. Period.
We have to deal with it later. But right now, we got something else to deal with. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Cassandra, we got Cassandra online right now. We got Annie. Annie, you up next. And so we're going to come to you next. So right now we're going to go to Cassandra. Cassandra, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning.
Cassandra, we're talking about the no-knock law. The no-knock law where the police officers, and I appreciate Rico because I was here in California, he was in Minneapolis, whereas they went in, man laying on his couch, sleep. They bust in his house. They say he reached for a weapon, but you know, you bust in my house. You know, 9 times out of 10, somebody, if they got something, they're gonna reach for it. And they say he reached. They shot and killed him. Then they try to say it was a drug. It was a drug one. There was no drugs. The guy had no priors, and then they were in the wrong house. Cassandra, how do you feel about that no-knock law?
I have sort of mixed feelings about no-knock because I know that there are times that they may need that because they know they suspect that they're going into a place where, like trap houses and stuff, where they might be, these guys are strapped up and ready to go. So for their protection, because I'm not just to protect the citizens. I say protect everybody. Everybody needs to be protected. So I really, when it's done properly, I don't have a problem with no knock, because there are scenarios where their safety is in jeopardy, because you have some radical groups like white supremacist groups, like black gangs, like white gangs, like Mexican gangs, like that they are dangerous. And it's dangerous for them to announce that they're coming in, because it gives them a chance to hurt them, to hurt the police officers. So I'm sort of torn on that. So I'm not going to say I'm against it.
Now
I'm going to say when it's done right, it's good.
But can it can also, and I appreciate what you said, and thank you for that. But it can also, I like to deal with both sides of the coins. If it's done wrong, like in this situation that we're talking about, it could be terrible. It could be terrible.
Yeah, I totally agree. If it's done wrong, it can be people's death. And there have been several times over the years that they have, the wrong address or whatever, breaking into the wrong place. And there have been high consequences. Lives have been lost. But overall, I don't think that you throw out, how do old people say? You don't throw out the baby with the bathwater.
Yes, exactly. That's good.
You understand? You don't abolish an entire law or procedure because, one thing, two things, whatever, something happens, because things happen. We know that with life. So, that's just my take on it.
Good deal. Let me go to Annie from Mississippi. Annie from Mississippi, good morning. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing just fine. How are you?
Hey, doing well. Thanks for calling in this morning. What do you think about this no-knock law? What do you think about it? And is it good? Is it bad? Is there, like Sandra said, is there a police for it?
Let me clear it up. It's not a law.
Okay. What do they call it? Warrant, no-knock warrant.
Procedure. It's a policy. That they use. All police departments don't use it, and they don't use it on everybody.
Okay. Wow. That's interesting. It don't use it on everybody. That's very interesting. But and what's on your heart? What do you say to that?
Well, I called in because I thought we were going to talk about can you keep a secret, but since I'm here, as you're talking about the no knock laws, I agree with Miss Cassandra. I mean, there can be good or bad. Down here in Mississippi, we have gotten some of the highest crimes now to be in the South. I mean, this city here is a city that I don't even recognize anymore. Us in Jackson, Mississippi, are running neck and neck for one of the highest crime states. And for us to have such a small amount of people, we see this crime, especially black on black crime, every day, all day. I mean, even up until in December 2021, Jackson had the highest killings, and they even killed someone off even up until the 31st. They just killed people all year long. So I can somewhat agree with the no knock law, depending on the situation, depending on who's supposed to be on the other side of the door. If that person is dangerous, if that person is hey, don't care about living, I can kind of agree with that no knock law. But and like in this case right here, when they got it wrong, that's a whole different scenario. But I think it comes from the training. You got to know that who you're looking for is on the other side of that door, and make sure that you're not in the wrong area. So make sure you're trained properly to know that you're in the right home, going to the right home, and you have, you're ready to go in and do what you got to do. But make sure that the person you're looking for is there, and that falls back on you being trained properly. So, like I say, I don't know. I can see both sides because right now, I don't even recognize our world anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, it has gotten so bad where I am a realtor and I can't show a house without carrying a gun. And I hate to carry a gun. I hate carrying a gun, but I have to carry a gun to every showing.
Yeah.
And I hate that.
Exactly. Wow. And sad enough that's the world we're living in right now. That is the exact world that we're living in right now, where you can't even show a house to a person that want to buy a home without having to worry about the safety of yourself. Let me go to
Yes, and then,
go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, sis. Go ahead.
Especially when you're gonna call me to meet you, and you're a man, and you know, I want to make sure there's a woman with you, and my husband can't go with me all the time. He can't be getting the call with me, so I want to make sure who's gonna be there with us. And then I really get kind of nervous showing them upstairs homes, those huge houses, those upstairs houses, and me and a stranger in the home. I really get kind of nervous in that situation. I really do.
Wow, that's good. That's good. K with the E. Good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. Fine, and you?
Hey, doing good. Okay, what do you think about this no-knock law, this no-knock procedure? I just call it a procedure that they have, the law enforcement.
Right.
What do you think about that?
Well, first, I'm gonna tell Cassandra, take somebody with her, because they work in couples now. So it don't matter who's with him.
That was Annie.
Annie, yeah, my friend she did that, and she figured, you know, it's a man and a wife. Well, when they got through with her, they robbed her and everything. Took all her jewelry, took all her credit cards. They robbed her, showing a house right here in Kansas City. And they was a couple working together. So you be careful out there, and you take somebody with you, because you know who's with you. You don't know who they got with them. So take somebody with you. Then we got a person where they went up in the house and they shot a person. But you got to think about it. They're not going up in them gang places doing it. They're not doing it to those people that they know got houses set up. They're not going to those houses because they fear for their life. We had a person up here in Kansas City, a man and a woman, just had a shootout with the cop, and they got away, and the cop got shot. So we dealing with some crazy people in society. We don't know who we dealing with. We don't know what drugs they own. We don't know who they are today. We don't know what they've been through. That could be a kid that watched the police shoot their daddy up, and now they just done lost their mind now because nobody gave them counseling. So we don't know what we dealing with. As far as Minnesota go, they didn't do a whole lot when they did Floyd. So they're gonna continue to do what they do because Minnesota needs to step up to the plate. We could talk all day long until they step up to the plate, because we stepped up to the plate in Kansas City. We getting rid of the police to people. We don't have the same chief right now. Like, they're getting rid of them. They stepping up to the plate. We have to step up to the plate. We have to. Like, it's crazy. It's everywhere. It's not just Kansas City. It's not just Chicago. It's literally everywhere. Literally. We have to step up to the plate. If we as the people don't step up to the plate and fight, then who gonna do it? Because they're gonna just keep killing. They ain't stopped. The police been killing for years. Like you said, you know how many people have been murdered by the police that they didn't even put on the news? We don't hear everything. If I didn't have people work in the police department, I wouldn't know half the stuff I know. My niece got off the walking the streets and went into the office. She said she don't even trust the streets no more. She got off the streets.
Wow.
She's a dare officer now. She's going into the schools and stuff with her own office and everything. What a promotion. I told her that's God protecting you. He gave you the desires of your heart. Like, she loved protecting, but she said, who's going to protect me?
Wow.
That's just what she said. Who's going to protect me? And she got off the streets. My other friend transferred from Kansas City to Ohio. Out of here. I was like, where are you going? Him, his wife, and family out of here.
Good deal. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Give us a call. We're talking right now about the no-knock procedure. I'm gonna call it a procedure. What do you think about it? Is it good? Is it bad? Or what's really behind this whole situation? Let me go to Monique, and then we're gonna make our circle back around with everybody. Monique, you're my last caller that I had coming on. So what's on your heart? What do you think, Monique, about this no-knock law?
It kind of gives off the Jim Crow, era where, it kind of reminds me of the stories of, reading about how, they would, just come in, Black people's houses and, and come pull people out, for, whatever reason they wanted to, and that kind of gives me a little pause, on that. So, I don't support it because it seems like it's only geared towards certain people. Because I've never heard, and not saying that it's not, I just never heard a no-knock warrant where it ended up where a white person ended up dying in a no-knock warrant. I just love. I hear it more what happening with black people than I do, any. It seems like I only hear black people get no-knock warrants. So it just seems like it's targeted, for a certain group of people.
Mhm.
So, I don't agree with it.
Wow, that's good. That's good. Rico, talk to me, brother.
Business as usual. The war on crime targeted us. The war on drugs targeted us. COINTELPRO targeted us. Jim Crow targeted us. Black codes targeted us. Penal codes targeted us. Pennies targeted us. All through the judicial system. And so the thing is that people, after they take that oath, they get up under a shield. And so we have these conversations and we ask ourselves, well, what can we do about it? Well, this is really a realization of how people have to realize that we have to be more active in the community about issues that we've been putting on the back burner. Because like Toya said, we've been going through this more than 15 years. We've been going through this for over 50 or 60 years. People just coming in your house having that privilege. Lynch mobs. People being deputized when they wanted to come and take over a city because there was too many black people making money. Our own military did it. And actually right now, they're militarizing the police, giving our police departments these same vehicles to do more no-knock warrants or do procedures. But the thing is in some cases it's needed. But if we don't remain active as individuals, like with everything else that existed before us, it will evolve into something negative. See, a lot of these policemen take that oath to become officers of the law. Judges take the oath. Prosecutors take the oath. All these people get involved in the judicial system, take an oath, but then they get under a shield that protects them even when they're wrong. So it's bigger than a no-knock warrant. There's so many different issues. I gave you a video a couple of weeks ago. Their entire courtroom rigging this case up against this Mexican guy. The entire courtroom lied, even his representation. See, the thing is beyond no-knock warrants, there needs to be a movement by the people, like Charles said, and like Kay said they did in Kansas City, a movement by the people to stand up. But then the thing is we are so distracted. It's hard for us to stand up for the so many things that needs to be fixed. And then we'll get accused of being mad all the time. You're always mad about something. Well, we got a lot to be mad about. But when we don't stay consistent, then we only talk about it or think about it when it happens to us or when the headlines splash it across 4 days later, like what we're doing now. So here it is. You got Public Citizen called the other day, and he told about the cops in LA that was in the gangs. Matter of fact, the guys that are suspected of killing Biggie, one of our icons. Cops, bank robbers and killers, but also cops. See, they got up under that shield of protection. So you had this blue line, and you had a fraternal order of police and the police union that go and stand and fight for police regardless of what they did wrong. No, we don't make no mistakes. We perfect. We're going to stand behind our officers. Blue lives matter. And so they get loyal, but then it's like we do have to understand as human beings that some people will abuse. There's proof of people being gang members as policemen. They formed after they became policemen. Even in DeKalb County, Georgia, Bloods last year being arrested, Blood gang members. A sheriff just got arrested the other day for raping somebody. It's about 3 cops in Georgia being arrested for some crazy stuff. So I mean, there needs to be some accountability, but people really have to think about the part that we play. I inform my city councilman of things that she should be concerned of, and sometimes she's not even aware of it because she has so much on her plate, and that's where the citizens come in. And that's why my city councilman can call me. Well, you got other people might look at me as somebody that you might not need to deal with. My city councilman pretty much called me every other day.
Wow.
You got to stay involved. You got to pay attention to the most important things, because if you don't take care of it now, they may come back and impact you later.
In some kind of way, absolutely. Badger, what's on your heart, brother?
Just thinking about how corrupt our system is and has been for a long time. You know, things like this is, you know, for whatever reason they started it, was just to fight this war on crime and everything else. Well, one of the reasons we have a lot of the, you know, drugs and illegal weapons and things like that is, hey, our government let them in the first place. So, you know, it's, but we're more worried, you know, most people just pay attention to the fact of, you know, all these shootings and things like that. So I wouldn't say I'm numb to the situation. I'm actually quite angry about the ignorance and possible racism that was done. It's just, it's just another day that it happened again. And until the system gets fixed of making sure, you know, police officers, I mean, look at our military and how our military gets trained. You know, why can't they, why don't we have, you know, we're paying these police departments so much money. Why aren't they properly trained?
Exactly.
In psychology, in, you know, properly doing raids, to making sure that they do their best to make sure folks stay alive and are held responsible for their actions. You know, if you promote this fear of, hey, if the cops show up, you know, you're going to get shot, people are going to pull a gun on you. It don't matter what you're wearing. It's a fear-based society. So, and so now they're like, well, we're having to defend ourselves. Well, you're having to defend yourselves because y'all became arrogant and racist in the first place. So our government caused a lot of the problems we have today. And all it's done is continued on to all these shootings and no knocks and all this other nonsense. And when a lot of the problems that we need to be taking care of, certain groups of people in the political world don't want us to be taking care of it to improve our system.
Wow. Charles, what's on your heart, brother? I know you're at work. You probably got to go in a minute. What's on your heart? Charles, you there? Let's go to Toya. Toya, with the T, what's on your heart, sis? Toya? Okay. Leonard, are you there?
Yes.
Talk to me.
I mean, I think everybody is you know, expressing their opinion, but this has been discussed in several occasions, and the issue is that the police prefer this type of behavior. They get all gung ho about doing this like this some type of freaking movie. And you know, think about it. This is what people love to do. They become police officers. They get a charge out of it.
That adrenaline rush.
Yeah. Just running in, shooting, and you know how you used to when you was kids.
Wow!
Right. You don't even require police officers to have a college education, for instance. Or anything like that. You don't know how they're trained. Like, say, for instance, you would think that there would be additional training for policing in a state where open carry is the law. Call your sheriff's department and ask them to send you the lecture, the program, or the training that was delivered to those officers. Now, you got police officers running around here talking about they scared. Then go get another job.
Exactly.
You definitely don't need that one. Because I don't need you using that as an excuse every day. Guess how scared I would be if you busted in my house while I was sleeping at night. Can you imagine how scared I am when you pulling me over for no reason when I ain't violating no law? Imagine how scared that makes me feel. How scared it makes anyone feel when you approach them with your hand on your gun, assuming that they've committed a crime.
Exactly.
So miss me with all this foolishness about you was scared, you was this. Go get another freaking job. I expect more from police. You got a police just was arrested here last week. Sex trafficking, rape,
Yep. Yep.
molestation.
Yep.
This happens constantly.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all ain't even policing the police enough to know that they doing these types of things. Why the hell you giving them permission to bust in people's houses with guns and roam these streets and harass and terrorize citizens?
Mm-hmm.
Why? We should be at the point now, instead of talking about whether or not we got a race problem, we need to be making adjustments because we do have a race problem.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You don't need no more investigations to find out what's going on in the police department, because guess what? It's going on
every day.
Every day. These people ain't no better than you. A lot of times they police. How you gonna be a police officer and you got a record?
Yeah.
How many of y'all understand that?
Mm-hmm.
Police officers with domestic violence cases.
Yeah.
These people should not be allowed to police.
Absolutely. Absolutely. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Toussaint, what's on your heart? Cassandra, coming to you next.
Yeah, one thing that I heard is, but the problem still exists. That negligence and racism is two different things, but when the negligence always seems to go ignored against the same people over and over and over again, you try to figure out what the root of the matter is.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's see this thing play out. Let's just back up a little bit and look at our society for the last, since I was, I can talk about 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's go back a little bit from Emmett Till's to now. How different is this society?
Mm-hmm.
To the core of it. And then look at the actions of our law enforcement, not all of them, but as we look at it across the board, the core of it seems to be that negligence, for whatever form it is, seems to go up through the system, and they're gonna say, and nobody's gonna get prosecuted. Here's a man that defending himself, because if you sleeping and you have your weapon as a protection against intruders for whatever reason, and you go to defend yourself, train supposedly people. I'm missing the point. I'm missing it. The bad thing about that is I keep missing it. I just don't understand it. Because when it goes up to the lawyers, the prosecutors, the defenders, defense attorneys, and the judge that's going to deal with this thing, the chief of police, and all of the ones that are involved in the law. Here's a man that probably is either at his house relaxing because he's under investigation with pay.
Yes.
And then they have another man that was minding his own business, sleep, and is now a victim.
Yeah. Dead.
And we go on with life.
Wow. Cassandra, what's on your heart?
Yeah, I, I'm okay. So let me just throw out a little statistics, okay?
Mm-hmm.
In 1980, there were approximately 1,500 no-knock warrants signed. In the last couple of years, in a year, 1,500 across the country in a year, right? No-knock warrants.
Mm-hmm.
And the last couple of years, 60 to 70,000 no-knock warrants a year. 60 to 70,000 no-knock warrants. And a lot of that, they say, is attributed to the drug war, you know, that is going on, which we know we got a problem with it.
Mm-hmm.
But how do we get from 1980, 1,500 in an entire year to 60 to 70,000 a year?
Wow. That's a huge number. That's a huge gap there.
That's a huge gap right there. I mean, that's a huge jump. And I, you know, and I know we have a drug war, and I know it's you know, you have the arms, you got people now selling weapons all across the country. It's a lot going on, but we need to do something. That's why police reform. I'm not banning nobody. I don't believe we can ban. I think that's the most ignorant thing anybody can say. But I do believe that we need reform across the board for police officers.
Exactly. That's good. That's good. Anybody else have anything else before we leave this topic and go to our subject of the day?
Yeah, man. I got to come back on this, man. Cause we've been beating around the bush on it a little bit, man. But we got to really understand what this thing evolved from, and some of the things, some of the numbers that just got put out there, it sort of verifies it. The key word is intrusion. That practice of intrusion, man, they've been intruding ever since they went to Africa and took some people, and they went from probably 1,500 people to 60,000 people. Think about how that increased over time because it was so profitable. And then after they got us over here, it kept evolving. So now the war on drugs, war on us, war on crime, war on us, all that stuff adds up to us. And so, you know, the thing is we realize this. We understand these things are going on. And then we hear people say, well, let's reform the police. And then they go and try to make it more extreme than what it really is. Reform would be like this. Say if when a policeman or a judge or a prosecutor took an oath, they also had to take an oath that if they abused that power, they would be penalized harsher than a civilian. Because you got too much power. And it's too much of opportunity for you to ruin somebody's life just because you felt like a human being. So you're still a human being, even though you got that badge and that gun and that bulletproof vest, even though you swore and took that oath and they told you that you are now in a position of authority. Mr. Judge, there's sending people innocently. Mr. Cop, that's planting dope on people, ruining, taking fathers from their children. You know, if they took that oath, then imagine how many more honorable people would actually go into the judicial system to do the right thing instead of abusing it. Of those that were in now would be too afraid to abuse it because they know if I get caught doing this crime, I'm gonna get more time than a civilian. You know, it's gonna be more severe.
There's repercussions.
There's no accountability. There's no preventive measures to prevent anybody from being persuaded to abusing their power and authority. These human beings that get in these positions created by people that created a system that evolved from intruding into another country and still doing the same thing they're doing to this day.
Exactly.
On our young super predators.
Wow. Tori, you want to tell you there?
Yeah, I am.
What's on your heart, sis?
Yeah, no, you know, I heard this. I said, listen. So I think the way they go from 1,500 to 60,000 is because if I'm the one that brought it over here and gave it to you to distribute, I know you got it. We got to keep thinking about the system. Black men ain't growing and stuff, smuggling it over there without them knowing. This is a part of the system that they have doing some verifiable reports with J.P. Morgan and Chase got caught what? Bringing what over here on what? Let's go back to the system, right? They are the distributors of these things. Like you said, the cop planted the dope. Who do you think? How do you think? I'm going to get us in trouble. I think I'm going to get us in trouble. I think I might need to stop. Let's go ahead to the next subject.
I was going to say, I already brought that up.
Good
Hey,
deal.
man.
Hey, Curtis, anything on your heart before we move on, brother?
Yeah. Hearing what everybody, right, and hearing what Cassandra said makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense, right? So I'm going to be solutions based, right? Because when you talk about reform, the first thing people normally do, especially those that are in opposition to police reform, the first thing they do is they talk about what can't be done, right? So I'm going to lay out a series of ideas. Number one, if you're going to keep the no-knock warrant, then the no-knock warrant should be looked at kind of from the basis of warrants, period, should be looked at kind of on the basis of two criteria. One is rules of engagement, and two is clearance. So like in the military, you have rules of engagement. Every soldier has a universal rule of engagement. Then the rules of engagement change due to the threat. If it's a threat con alpha, it's one set of rules of engagement. If it's a delta, it's another. I get them mixed up, but if I'm not mistaken, threat con alpha is the highest threat con that you face. That's basically you almost going in a nuclear war and or going to war, right? Threat con delta is to be vigilant of what's going on, but it's a lax kind of you know what I mean, threat con, right? So you think in terms of the threat, right? And then what is the clearance? So at each clearance in the United States military, although they pretty much come out of the same office, each clearance, depending on which clearance you get, has to go through a different process. It basically goes on a higher desk, right? So an assistant for the national security might be able to sign off on a lower level clearance. Whereas when you get the classified or top secret, and there's some other names for some other clearances that we don't know about because the government don't let us know about, that has to come from, for example, the Secretary of Defense or the Secretary of State. That has to be signed on by the president, stuff like that. So what I'm saying is, if we think solutions based, what Cassandra said made a lot of sense. There is a need because, I mean, you do have those instances. I mean, we talk about Crips and Bloods, but the biggest, most maniacal gang is the Aryan Nation, right? You go messing with them boys, you might run up in there. You got 30 AR-15s, all spitting 200 rounds. Somebody holding the clip. So I get it. But what I'm saying is, at some point, as legislators, it has to be evaluated to where there's more oversight on, okay, have you followed the proper procedures and protocols?
Yeah.
Should be running up in these people's house.
Exactly. We're gonna if nobody else have anything else on this topic, man, we're gonna move on to our topic of the day. Anybody have anything they want to say before we move on? Toussaint, you there?
Yes, sir.
Ask you a question,
Yes,
bro.
sir.
I'm gonna ask you a question, and I need to hear your whole heart when you answer the question. Can you keep a secret?
All day long answer. I've been keeping secrets.
So you can keep a secret.
Oh yeah. You know, see, because I've been a victim of people talking too much.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not one that says, "Don't tell nobody I told you," but
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
if we have a conversation, and we've had some conversations,
Mm-hmm.
I want to be one that somebody can confide in,
Yeah.
talk to,
Mm-hmm.
and then not having it come around the corner and don't even sound like the conversation you originally had.
Mm-hmm.
So I keep my mouth shut about a lot of things because some people come to you in confidence and they want time to heal
Mm-hmm.
from situations they find themselves in.
Mm-hmm.
And especially, you know, being one of them church folk.
So you
I'm
got
just saying.
you got look, you're gonna take it there, huh?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna take it there because that's the ones that can't keep their mouth shut, and they are the ones that should.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow.
So I've learned to just keep a secret
Mm-hmm.
because there's many, because everybody got skeletons in their closet.
Some kind of way. Exactly. Cassandra, can you keep a secret?
Yes, I can, but
Uh-oh.
I am a mandatory report. No, I'm a mandatory reporter.
Mm-hmm.
If a child is being abused or comes to me and say somebody is harming them, I'm required because I work with DFACS and I have to report that. But other than that, as in ministry, I'm obligated to that people can tell me stuff and I can't repeat it. Please, y'all, just let me tell you this one story that bothered me so bad that I to this day I think about it. There was a man in Charleston, in my hometown, that shot his wife. Right? He had an alibi that he was hunting with friends at the time, right? That was his alibi when his wife was shot, right?
Mm-hmm.
This man literally told me that he shot her because she was having an affair with a guy and said, I know that you cannot repeat that because you're a minister. And I kept that all those years. He didn't die, but that hurt me. That really hurt me.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And so
yeah, I can keep a secret.
That can be very taxing. You have to hold something like that, knowing what the truth is. That could be that could be very taxing.
It was.
Mm-hmm.
It was, and this was back in the late 80s. In the late 80s.
Wow, that's a long time ago. Monique, can you keep a secret?
Oh, yes, I can. Yes, I can. It depends on what it is. If it's not anything that, that I don't need to, tell somebody, even if it's a family member.
Mm-hmm.
I pretty much can.
Mm-hmm.
As long as it's not something that's, going to compromise, what I believe in.
Mm-hmm. Wow. That's good. Toya with a T, can you keep a secret? Toya?
Yeah, it depends on what it is. So you're not going to be doing nothing wrong because some things, if you do something wrong, I won't be the law. But yeah, if it's a secret, a good secret that needs to be kept, yeah, I can keep it, but don't abuse that and talk about, oh, it was a secret. No, just because it's going to get me in trouble, I'm going to be the first snitch. Don't tell me.
Wow. Badger.
I mean, yeah,
Can you keep a secret, Badger?
absolutely. I've
Mm-hmm.
been told a lot of things that people have come to me about as far as like their past goes or their concerns and issues, personal beliefs. I feel like a lot of it should be kept. If they want to
Mm-hmm.
share it, they'll share it.
Mm-hmm.
However, I do feel that there are some things that need to be told.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I don't care if the person's a preacher, a pastor, a counselor, or whatever. If someone has harmed somebody or they're abusing their spouse or their children or something like that, something needs to be done. It
Mm-hmm.
starts there. And then, if all they're doing is just sitting there listening, as far as I'm concerned, they're part of the problem.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that
Wow.
goes for me too.
Mm-hmm. Good deal. Good deal. Annie, what do you say to that? Annie, can you keep a secret? Annie, you there?
I'm here yet. I'm in my car, so if you hear a lot of noise, I got my car kind of loud.
Okay.
But anyway, I used to could not keep a secret, but since I have a realtor, I have to keep secrets because if I don't, it get cost me my job. A lot of things that we see that we can't tell anybody about anything because it's the guidelines and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, as a minister of the gospel, I have to keep secrets. Sometimes you want to tell people because they can be funny, but you got to remember you can't do that. When people providing you of what they're going through, you have got to keep it and just go in the room and shout it, in the room when nobody's out, when nobody's in there. But you can't just tell things. You have to learn how to keep a secret. Especially if it puts your job at risk or who you are.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Leonard, a Catholic priest in a confessional. I'm sure he hear a lot of different things, a lot of different secrets from people. Some of the stuff that he hear, like Cassandra, man, when she said that, that could weigh on you. How important is it that he or she keep that secret?
Well, first of all, I don't care nothing about him. Biggest hustle in the world is Catholic Church when it comes to this whole bit about confession. It's the biggest hustle in the world. It's to get me to tell you your secret so I can control you. That's what it's about. Confidentiality is okay. Keeping secrets is okay. But first of all, I have confidentiality agreements.
Mm-hmm.
But now secrets are a little different. What is that secret?
Mm-hmm.
What is that secret? Because see, a lot of people talk about that confidentiality until them white folks ask them.
Mm-hmm. When they get you in the room.
Until they have a need for your secret.
Mm-hmm.
They will compel you to let them know what they need to know. Or you'll go to prison.
Wow.
So, if you got folks coming and they feel so comfortable with you to tell you they molesting kids and all these types of things, you're befriending the wrong people. That's one.
I'm not keeping that secret, brother.
But I'm just saying, secret is a secret. I have a lot of secrets that I keep because it's just information between me and people. They were said to me in confidentiality.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to allow you to tell me certain things because I don't need to know all your business like that. I really don't. I can't tell what I don't know. And this is the mistake that a lot of people make. You out here telling your business to people you think you can trust, and you can't trust them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So one, it's best to kind of steer clear of the whole secrecy thing. Because one, why do you need that secrecy is more important to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I can tell you anything here on this radio, I won't. Why you need to keep secrets?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a secret keeping person like that.
Exactly. And Rico, a fella came up to me one day. Raheem, can you keep a secret? I said, evidently you can't because you about to tell me.
Right.
And so that ended the whole conversation because don't tell me nothing because if you tell me something, you put me in a situation now. Go ahead, Linda. You want to say something?
Because yeah, it's you need to know the limits. You need to know how to speak to people in confidentiality. There are certain things that'll go with me to my grave because they're insignificant to others.
Wow.
It's just things that I shared with another person. I wouldn't go, but you got them people that'll go around, and this is how this mess gets started. See, you may not be thinking of a secret as, you know what, I'm sleeping with such and such wife.
Wow. Hold on one second, then, Rico. What's on your heart, brother?
Yeah, that was a secret right there. I wouldn't want to know. You know what I'm saying? And 9 times out of 10, they ain't really want to keep that a secret. That's just something for them to toot their own horn about. Yeah, you know I'm getting that, don't you?
Right.
Yeah.
But the thing is it is necessary sometimes to keep secrets. Look at Colonel Sanders. Look at him. He got a secret recipe. You know what I'm saying? He was Chinese. He said, "Ain't the Chinese secret, right?"
Yeah.
You know, I'm just being serious though. Sometimes I can keep a secret. Sometimes I can't. It's really, man, that's just another instance to show that you really just can't pinpoint a way that you want to make decisions about how you'll do things. Like I have principles. I think I told Toya this the other day. I have principles, but we as human beings have to understand that in this life, we are going to go and encounter some situations where we might have to go against our principles. It's hard for us to admit that because after we've stood on these principles so long, now this situation come up and you being a hypocrite or you being a liar if you tell. That story Cassandra told, man, it hit sort of home because I was in a situation very similar to that. And I knew he did it, but he didn't admit it to me. But I knew he did it. The reason why I knew he did it because, to be honest, it was a plan that was meant for somebody else. And I was in a place then, you know, that I was the one. It was actually my plan, but he went and did the plan to somebody else. And I was like, after having these discussions with him, I was like, you know what? When I first found out the boy was missing, I knew what had happened. I was like, man, this is where they're gonna find him at, which they actually found him a week later. I didn't say anything, and then he got arrested for suspicion, but they couldn't prove it. And I bumped into him at a club one night, and we sat there. I act like I didn't remember what we had talked about. He asked me, said, man, go and tell the truth. You think I did it, didn't you? I said, huh? He said, you think I did it, didn't you? I said, well, man, I'll tell you this way, man. I said, sometimes we get in positions in life where we have to make decisions that we probably wouldn't normally do. I said, I feel like if you did do it, I hope that you did it for a reason that was justifiable. I left it at that. But the reason he questioned me because he knew that I knew he had done it because of the discussions we had about other things before. And so, you know, ended up later on, it got to a point where he couldn't deal with it. He couldn't sleep. And he went and told his pastor. He started trying to go to church.
Wow.
And the pastor said, I got to sit my principles to the side. And I swore to do this and that as a minister and to take information and confidentiality. But, man, this is a situation where I can't keep my mouth shut. I'm going to allow a criminal to go out here and just continue to live his life freely after he done did this to his best friend. So, I mean, you know, man, we really have to admit that whoever answers this question a certain way have to understand that in certain situations, they might go against what they just said. So, yeah, I could keep a secret sometime.
Exactly. Wow, that's good. Curtis, can you keep a secret? Curtis? Hold on, Curtis might be on. Yeah, hold on. I got you on mute, brother. You had some background noise. Go ahead, Curtis. Can you keep a secret?
I'm still alive because I'm a keeper of secrets.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the first murder I seen. You know what I mean? I know things right now that if I put it over this radio, there's a chance that I'll be dead by the night. You understand? Is it okay? I'll be the first one to tell you, no, it's not. And I'm gonna have to answer for some of the things that I know when my day of reckoning comes.
Mm-hmm.
But given the situation and the circumstances and thereof, I had to follow my first law of man. And some of these things that I know, you know, it's one of the reasons why I've always had to talk with my kids about being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Because some of these things that I know, it was strictly because I was in the wrong place at the wrong time. And some of the things that I know is primarily because people just felt that confident in talking to me. It can be daunting. It can be a haunting situation, especially if something that resulted in somebody losing their life. I've never had nobody admit to me that they took somebody's life. I have had that opportunity to physically witness a life being taken, and the person who did it looked me dead in my face. It took my life. If it wasn't for somebody else, he would have killed me right there. I was 14 years old. I never forget it. But, you know, harboring secrets, man, holding secrets can be a very, very daunting task on you it can be an emotional drain on you as an individual, because sometimes, man, you don't know really who that secret is really affecting, but you know it's affecting somebody, or you know exactly who it's affecting, and they don't deserve it. And then the real daunting thing is, if they do deserve what's coming at them, you still kind of battle with the fact that, wow, why the resolve has to be that.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a lot, man. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Absolutely. Absolutely. 508-924-3521. 508-924-3521. Can you keep a secret? How important is it that you keep that secret? Yes.
I want to say something because I'm about to get off the line.
Okay.
You know, I totally agree with whoever it was that said secrets. They broke down the difference between secrets and being told things in confidentiality. Listen, a secret will destroy. Now, I think about this right here. When little children are being harmed by adults, and the first thing they ask them, I tell them, it's our secret. You know, can you keep a secret? I don't think secrets, you know, I don't think keeping secrets is good on any level. There's a difference in being told something in confidentiality, you know, that's not supposed to be broadcast or told. They keep it a secret because secret destroys people's families. We have destroyed little children and little girls and boys. So I'm against the secret thing altogether. I mean, I really am. I believe in, you know, holding things that people tell you. It's not going to harm anybody. No one's going to get hurt. But the word secret, our babies have been hurt. I know my grandchild went through that. And the first thing that when she told everything that happened, the first thing Mother told her was, it's our little secret. So I'm against the secret part. I am.
Now, Annie, before you go, let me ask you this question. In an attorney, they have this little secret thing, client, whatever they call it, secret, whatever, you got the fancy term. I don't know the actual verbiage right now. It escapes me. But should a minister, a pastor, bishop, or what have you, should they have that same secrecy? I mean, if somebody come and tell them something and they kill somebody like Cassandra, man, I know Cassandra's heart, and they had to weigh on her to have to hold on to that, knowing that this person did it. It's a good thing the person didn't die, but still she had to carry that. She said that's been over a lot of years.
No. I watched a documentary on ID about that. A young man told a pastor what he had done.
Mm-hmm.
He killed his friend and his friend's entire family. And they didn't know who done it, but the pastor called the police department. He had to tell.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some things you gotta tell. If it's hurting somebody else, you gotta tell it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you mad at me because I told her, well, I'm not gonna carry your sin, your shame, and have myself weighed down and burdened down.
Mm-hmm.
So something like that right there, tell it. I believe in telling it. If somebody's life was harmed or somebody's being hurt, tell it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, open your mouth and tell somebody about it, because if not, you carry that weight around with you for years, and that's a very heavy weight to carry around.
So Anna, basically you're saying shoot, I'm gonna tell it, I'm gonna shoot.
And also, Raheem, we need to
I mean,
clarify.
if somebody's life is being harmed, tell it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some things you don't tell the pastor. You know, some things, but when it comes down to somebody hurt somebody, by all means, tell it.
Mm-hmm. Leonard?
And also, we have to clarify the law that governs what we relate to what priests do is related to the confession of guilt to crimes.
Mm-hmm.
They cannot be compelled to testify against these individuals because what they are confessing is a crime.
Yes.
That's the difference. Secrets are not always crimes.
Mm-hmm.
And one, I don't even think you Christian preachers even have it. Now you may have it. You may ethically not get involved in doing certain things, but I don't think you have legal protection.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. I know priests do, but I'm not sure if regular ministers do.
So hold on now. So you hold on, Leonard. So you saying if the priest knows something legally, he don't have to go up there and testify. He don't have to because of the secret. Is that what I'm hearing?
Because of the way the law was created to protect them.
Wow.
That's why. See, the laws had to be created to protect this type of information. Now, say for instance, when you're dealing with children, you have a duty to report.
Mm-hmm.
You have a duty to report these crimes against children if you're working in certain fields with children. And usually all employees that work with children have a duty to report. Now, I do believe that some law enforcement people may have it, a duty to report certain things, but I'm not really sure about that. You would have to call somebody in law enforcement, you know, as it relates to that. Because remember, you're usually keeping the secret from them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Remember, the issue is who you keeping this secret from.
Wow. K with an E, what's on your heart, sis? What do you feel about this secret situation?
I agree with everybody. I mean, it just depends on what the secret is. But if it's a secret, I'm like, that's your choice. And you don't want to tell nobody, all right, you know. And then some things I'll stop a person like, hold up. I don't even want to know your secret. I'm not going to keep it, and I don't want to know it.
Yeah.
Like, I ain't ready to hear you tell me you got a good husband at home and you cheating on him. Or you got a good wife at home and you cheating on her. I don't want to hear your secret. I don't want to hear no secret that got something to do with that. Then it come out later, okay, you knew. No, I ain't know nothing. I don't want no secret like that on me.
Yeah.
And ain't nobody gonna come and be like I done had people come and tell me, oh man, he was tripping last night and he tried to do this to me and we got into a scuffle and I had to leave. I don't know if he dead or not. And then old dumb me go look up to see if something really happened with him. Then I find out, I'm like, oh Lord, now I got a secret because I didn't went and looked up and researched and I'm like, why did I do that? So now I got a secret because of being nosy.
Exactly. I'm
also,
ready to go.
Raheem, if people want to know about that duty and mandatory reporting is what it's called when you work, like say for instance, teachers, social workers, police officers, and I think the term used is clergy.
Okay, got you. I'm gonna do a shout out. Then I'm gonna go to Cassandra. Do a shout out to a couple of people that's on the line with us. We got E. We got Reluctant Messiah. Good morning to you, DJ Tank, and listen to this name here, Rico. Chattanooga Rick. Boy, that's a name for you right there. Chattanooga Rick. Like the name. Cassandra, what's on your heart?
Yeah, you know, like I said, when it comes to reporting, if it's anything, I'm a mandatory reporter because of the things that I do. So I definitely will report things that have happened. If a woman calls and tells me that she's been raped, even if she tells me the name of the person and says, I don't want, I don't want it to go any farther than here, it stays right with me. Wow. I know that everybody has, their feelings about, what should be kept a secret and what should. There are things. I think if I keep wanting to tell myself that if she had died, I would have told. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I keep telling myself that if she had died, I would have told. But I was angry. I really was pissed off at him because he shared that with me. Why did he share that with me? Because he had the guilt, but he didn't want to face the consequences. Yeah. So it's like, okay, she's a minister. I know she can't just, because she's supposed to keep what I say to her private. But I'm going to tell you, when it comes, especially to children, I don't care who it is. If a child tells me that they're being abused, or if a person tells me that they're abusing a child, I'm going to report it.
Absolutely. Toussaint, you have something?
The average citizen don't have no duty to report. This is why you have a right to remain silent, because that as a citizen, that's your right to remain silent, and you have no duty to report anything. Mandatory reporters are those people I mentioned, like Miss Cassandra just mentioned as well. Those are mandatory reporters. But this is the whole reason why you have the right to remain silent, even if you see something happen. As a regular citizen, you do not have a duty to report.
Wow. Toussaint, what's on your heart, brother?
No, I just carefully listen. I carefully talk to, because I listen more than I talk. And a secret is different from an act against somebody that should be known. There ain't no secret. If you tell you say, well, man, I a little 14-year-old boy, wait a minute, that ain't no secret now.
Yeah.
And I don't care what you talking about, minister, pastor, preacher, teacher, man of God, whatever it is. That, man, that ain't got nothing to do with it. That's not a secret. Now you have an obligation.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But when you say a secret, sometimes the secret that I have is mine. I don't run my mouth about me. That's right.
Yeah.
Because people have already come to a conclusion, and I let you keep that.
We used to have
so whatever you assume, it starts off with you making an ass out yourself.
Hey. We had this saying back when we was growing up, man, in Greensboro. Man, look at here, man. I might tell on a lot of people, but I ain't gonna tell on me. I ain't gonna tell on myself now. Rico, what's on your...
But sometimes you got to take things to the grave too.
Yeah,
I mean, some things that'll get not only you killed, but it'll get somebody that that'll kill somebody behind it.
Exactly. Rico, talk to me, brother.
See, I think, man, I was glad Donald went there, man, because to me, it sort of goes back to what would be the impact of you revealing that secret. You know, that really determines whether or not a person can keep a secret or not. First off, like Leonard said, every secret ain't bad. You know, you ever went to a surprise birthday party for somebody and actually you might be the one set it up, or like I did for my mother with the retirement party. You set something like that up, and then when they get surprised, they turn around and they're like, man, you knew the whole time.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you kept it from you the whole time, they happy. That's a
Mhm.
very good time to keep a secret because there's a good outcome behind it. And see, the thing is sometimes, you know, like what Donald was saying, some acts aren't secrets. You know what I'm saying? They're violations. And when it comes to a violation, then you really have to draw the line on the humane part about things. You know, some secrets you just really shouldn't keep if you know the facts of it. Now it's different when you are being nosy and you happen to see somebody walking out of a hotel. You know they trying to keep that a secret.
Yeah.
But if you just happen to see that, then that ain't your business. They didn't come tell you that secret anyway. They don't even know you know. So you know, in a situation like that, then yeah, that's your secret. Then I know something. That's your secret. If you determine to go tell somebody else, then what's the consequences behind that? Will you be able to, I'm gonna say, repair or fix whatever damage comes with the secret that you reveal? I mean, some situations, a woman might come to you or a child might come to you and say, hey, my parents doing this to me, or my older brother doing that to me, and they tell you, don't tell nobody. You tell somebody, you want to do the right thing. But see, the reason why they told you not to tell nobody because their dad is a policeman. And he got connections. And he might be able to get some things covered up. As a matter of fact, a lot of the people that work with my dad didn't know that he does this. And ain't nothing gonna happen to him. If I'm not careful, he might kill us. He might take us off somewhere and do something to us. So I mean, if you do decide to reveal that secret once you find out about that violation, are you going to be there to catch them when they fall through that net? Because somebody's going to fall when you reveal that secret. There's going to be some more. I don't want to say it's going to be some more damage done, but there's going to be some fallout from the secret being revealed. So I think a lot of people actually consider that. Are they going to fall out with the person that told them the secret? You know, what's the impact on them? I think that's the biggest issue that makes people determine whether or not they want to reveal a secret or not. Me, myself, I don't want to hear bad.
And my thing is, like my brother used to always say, man, he sees somebody in a situation, like you say, coming out to the hotel room, and he happened to see it. He said, man, the dude was silly, man. He said, look here, man. Look here, y'all better give me some hush mouth money. Oh, y'all better give me some hush mouth money. Look here, give me my hush mouth money. Because
depending on who that is, who that is, he might be a little throw himself. He might have that gun action for you.
Exactly. Toy, you want to talk to me, sis?
That's why they offer you hush money, because that's the only way to keep you quiet. Especially if it's something that they know they ain't got no business doing. You know what I'm saying? So again, it depends on the secret. You know what I'm saying? Some people die because they can't keep the secret. If they know you're going to tell, they're going to be. So they want to get secret. Depending on who and where it comes from.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Look at JFK. You know, there's a couple of instances that we can think about. That now you can't say that. You can't do that. Because if so, we're going to get you. And I'm quite sure that it was something that they felt like should have been a secret. But see, this is how humans get to distort things. See, here we go to double standard. When we teach kids, right, about secrets, you can't do it in the wrong way. If you teach them what it is, you know, you need to be able to tell mommy and daddy, hey, these are secrets and these are not. Somebody touching you, that's not a secret. Somebody trying to hurt you, that's not a secret.
Yeah.
Somebody trying to trick you outside where we're not here, that's not a secret. You know what I'm saying? So we have to be real careful as humans what power we put into what secret is. And most of the time, demons, evil, wicked people are going to misuse what secrets are, what things in confidentiality are. And that's what we need to nip in the bud. You know what I'm saying? Until we can nip those things, the root of that in humans, we're going to continue to have these evil, wicked, so-called secrets.
Exactly. Badger, what's on your heart, brother?
Just the evil in the world right now. Just the amount of people that, you know, that are aware of the nasty things that are being done and them not saying anything. You know, they're afraid, they're scared, and traumatized, whatever reason they want to use, and they don't do anything. So, like, is that really keeping a secret, or is that self-preservation?
And coming at the way that Badger said it, I think that it has to be clear. Like, say, for instance, the way my parents were. My parents advised me of what people shouldn't do to you. People shouldn't touch you, and those types of things.
Yeah.
That's different. But now, one, I'm not with people telling all their business. It's just some things that go on in my house that ain't your freaking business.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, so we have to be very careful about our privacy. That's very important. How much mail do you get every day, every week related to your privacy and your information? Just think about all the paperwork they send you when they think that your information may not be no longer secure. So, say for instance, telling people all your business and what's going on in your house is not a good practice.
Not at all.
But we need to be very clear. There's a difference between that and sexual abuse and sexual molestation and things like that. And you should teach your children that difference. There's a difference.
Huge difference.
Right, because you got some people want to tell you all their business and then make you responsible for what happens to the information. So don't go around, like we used to always say, some things you just ought to keep to yourself.
Yeah. Wow. Cassandra, I said earlier, Cassandra, you there?
Yes, I am.
I said earlier that somebody come up to me and asked me, could I keep a secret? And I say, evidently you can't because you're about to tell me. How effective is that? Because ain't no telling what they was going to tell me. And I don't even know what they was going to tell me because I didn't want to get into that whole secret thing with them. Well, I got to keep, you tell me something that's crazy. I'm not going to keep the secret. I'm not going to keep it. Deal with it how you deal with it, but I'm not going to keep it. What's on your heart, Cassandra?
Well, I mean, there are boundaries. Like I said, as a minister and as a mandatory reporter, I'm not held at the same standard that other people are. You understand? And I realize that over the years, whether people feel like it's right or wrong, I have to hold to what I have to hold to.
Yeah.
And somebody else might say, well, I'm a minister. I tell, that's your choice. You understand?
Yeah.
But if it had to do with a child, for me, all bets are off. Anything that has to do with the child, all bets are off.
Yeah.
You cheating on your wife, that's your business. You understand? I'm not going to go tell her, hey, he admitted to me, because especially in ministry, those of us that are in ministry, we know people have told me some crazy stuff. I'd be like, what the? Why is he telling me? Or why is he telling me that? You hear stuff that's from the depths of people's soul that they need to get out. That's including a pastor telling me he was gay.
Wow.
You understand? And he was married. I'm not going to go tell his wife. You have to figure that out. I spoke to him and said what I had to say, but I'm not going to go tell his wife. He has to tell his wife. You understand? So people can put you in situations, but that's not my job to tell her. That's your job.
Wow.
Also, I want to mention,
I'll keep the secret.
Not just a duty to report, but the other level is a duty to warn. If somebody tell you something they gonna do to somebody, a lot of times there is a provision we call the duty to warn, which, say for instance, if you counseling and someone tells you they're going to do something to a third party, and you believe they have the ability to do that and the intention on doing that,
Mm-hmm.
you have a duty to warn.
Man, I'm gonna blow their heads as soon as they come out that building. Wait a minute. Whoa.
See, that's
Whoa.
different than somebody telling you something that
Whoa.
already happened
Yeah.
and then telling you something they gonna do. Like what?
Mhm.
If me and you talking and I'm talking about a bank robbery and you engage in that conversation, how long you
Mhm.
think it gonna take before you get arrested too?
Ain't gonna be long at all. Ain't
Because
gonna
they're gonna be
be.
like they do young people now. Did you know they was gonna do that? When you was riding with them, did you know where they was going? Did they ever talk to you about? And before you know it, you're a co-conspirator
Mm-hmm.
just because of what you quote knew.
Yep. Hand of one, the hand of all. South Carolina do it
Right.
all the
So be
time.
very careful.
Yep. Hand of one is the hand of all, boy. Yeah, Lord Jesus. Tucson, you had something on your heart, brother?
Yeah, and I was thinking about Nathan when David kept his secret.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a way of making people tell on themselves.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Before you know it, you have to tell them, "You the one. You the one." But there was something that happened when I first came into the ministry. If anybody don't know, some 30 years ago. Anyway, I had an issue with being listening to ministers and preachers through the years.
Mm-hmm.
I just say what I had to say and sit down, but there was no hoop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Worry about that. I wasn't concerned with that, but that concerned me. So I went to this pastor, local pastor, to talk to him about him. You know, I would go to revivals and to his church, and he'd invite me. And we sitting in the office, and he's the choir's having choir rehearsal. We sitting there talking, and we're talking about some issues, plain old issues of life. And this pastor tells me, "Oh yeah, well I understand." He says, "Because you know I got a wife and I got 2 children," and then he put his hand on my shoulder, and he says, "There's something about a man." I said, "Hold up, brother."
Whoa.
Now, why did I say that? Why did I say that?
Mm-hmm.
Till this day, I have never called his name.
Mm-hmm.
Because what I told him now, he said, "Man, I thought about telling my wife. I thought about telling the congregation." I said, "Brother, if they see you in the ditch, can you imagine?" But my question is how many other young guys or whatever has had that approach and it worked out differently.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm telling you, it's not my job to expose folks. I don't do that one. I don't do that. I don't want to be the first to tell just because I know. I've seen some wives of husbands get in the car with kinfolks of their husband, and I ain't saying a word.
Wow.
Till this day. Now they found out, and when they found out, they was like, "Why didn't you tell me?" I said, "How am I supposed to have that conversation with you?" And the anger that they put out there, it was just. I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Sometimes when you got a secret, and then you got something that has to be put out there to let somebody know, hey, you the one gonna have to come clean with that. That's two different things.
Exactly. Rico, what's on your heart, brother? What do you say to that? Because that is a lot.
See, that goes back to what I was saying earlier. There is always gonna be a result, even if it's not confronted. You know, you might tell somebody that the spouse is cheating on them or something, or that, hey man, your daughter came and told me that her dad had been touching her.
Mm.
Mama might not say nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you do then? Or what if you happen to tell that woman or that man that their wife is cheating on them, or spouse is cheating on them, then they go back and they kill that cheater.
Mm.
They don't just confront them, they kill them.
Wow.
All because you spilled the beans.
Exactly.
You know, so we have to be mindful of the fact that there are repercussions and consequences, results of having these secrets. But you know, it sort of goes back to the reason behind having a secret in the first place. You know, to me, they're good. There's good and bad. You know, you have good secrets, like I said, surprising people for birthday parties. Then you have bad secrets. You know, secrets that are withheld so people are staying in prison. You have people that are whistleblowers. They come and expose the secrets, sometimes of your own government, spying on everything that you do, things that you should know because it's wrong. So I mean, you know, man, that's another example of how complicated this thing we call life is, because you can't just actually pinpoint and say keeping a secret is wrong, keeping a secret is bad. You know what? It all depends on the matter of the situation, and we have so many different ways the situation goes in this experience that we have. It's hard for me to just pinpoint and say that I will keep a secret, because there are times that I had to expose secrets.
Yeah,
I had to expose that I was being abused, not sexually. You know how people like to assume the worst.
Yeah,
not sexually. I was mentally and physically abused though, and my mom was physically and mentally abused. My brother was. And actually, my brother, he had stuff went on with him that I didn't know about, just like I had stuff went on with me that my brother didn't know about. And that was his father that was physically abusing him too. We went through that. But the root of it all was the fact that I was told to keep it a secret.
Wow.
So, I mean, you know, it actually was a bad thing, because to this day, I'm trying to repair that programming that I ended up being desensitized and normalized to. Being violent and aggressive, traits that I didn't even pick up from my mother and father. And the only reason I have this aggression problem, this 0 to 1,000 problem, is because I had a stepfather that was a 0 to 1,000, and I was told to keep it a secret when he was doing wrong, and I knew he was doing wrong. Or maybe when I did tell people, they believed him over me. So now people wonder, why Rico so off the wall? Why Rico so crazy? Why Rico like to snap so much? Rico got programmed.
Yeah.
And that was the result of it. The result of those secrets, the result of that abuse, was the fact that I have to find how to keep my temper in check now. When I'm interacting with my kids, I have to find out how to talk to them without getting so frustrated and extreme with the way that I talk, because I picked it up from somebody that showed me how it was done. And I had to keep it a secret for so many years.
Wow. Yeah. Toya, with a T, are you with us? Toya, you there? Leonard, talk to me, brother.
What you want me to talk to you about, right?
Man, these and we're talking about secrets, man. But what if it's a deep dark family secret?
Like what
Something that's been going on in the family for a long time.
Like what, right?
Let's say incest, like incest going on in the family for a long time. Now the little child walk in the room and they see something, and they tell the child, you know you ain't supposed to talk about stuff like this. You ain't, it's gonna be the secret, our little secret. You ain't supposed to tell. Man, look, that's damaging to that child, man. Because now he done saw something he ain't got no business seeing, and now you tell him he can't talk about it, and now he gotta internalize it. That could be disruptive, Leonard. What do you say to that?
No, it's not could be, is.
Yes, sir.
See, it's the person that says that is the person with the issue, with the problem. So the best that you can do is to let your children know that is not what we do. But you can't expect these animals that be people, these humans that behave this way I'm trying to think when you're talking about when a child comes in and blah, 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 because the person that knows that is the person that's committing the act. Right?
Yeah.
They don't have no no problem with what they're doing. So
Mm.
these are the people that we're warning folks against. It's like, say, for instance, when I talk to people, about how we going to solve that issue, for instance. Well, what we should do is we should tell our children point blank, here it is, what it is. This is how
Mhm.
things should happen. No one should be touching you. As a matter of fact, if anyone tells you to keep something a secret like that, come and tell me.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't sit there and tell a child unless, no, it's no unless.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You come tell me. That means that I can't be the person telling you to keep that secret. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
you as a parent have to have that talk with your child, because now they're teaching your children in school this as well. So whether you teach it to them or not, society is teaching it to them.
Yep.
So eventually we're going to be able to catch a lot of these people doing this, but it only happens when people are strengthened and supported with sharing that information. It's like with New Order, for instance. A lot of people scared to go in or bring something up in the public that happened, or they think they're going to be harassed or whatever. So we support them when they go against the police. We support them when they're asking a person turn themselves in the community for something that may have been done. So, it's one thing to say what you will and won't do, but are you preparing to do it
Wow.
if
That's great.
necessary? How are you addressing the issue to handle it if it does occur? Because too many people keep coming up talking about, well, I didn't tell nobody. I did. Okay. From now on, we got to change this policy. Why you not telling? Why you not? Well, because somebody told me. Okay, we need to change that. Parents, go tell your children. If you haven't talked to them yet, go talk to them today. There's no such thing unless you are part of this sickness and wickedness that wants to protect the person that does that. Some of the biggest perpetrators, for instance, are women. Why are you letting men do this to your children?
Come on.
And you know it. That's why all y'all got to go to jail in the house. Because if you knew it and you allowed him to do it, you're part of that.
Yes, sir.
Your daughters come and told you he was doing it, and you still didn't believe him? You're a part of that. You're supporting that. And that's a big deal, because too many people are talking about, oh, I didn't know this. That, man, before I can remember, as soon as I start talking, my folks taught me this. That's when you need to teach your children. Right now, they're teaching your children in schools. It's one thing to teach sexual reproduction and sexually transmitted diseases than teaching preference and how to do it and how you like it. And you free to make these choices. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're a child.
Yep.
You shouldn't be engaging in sexual behavior. No one should be touching you and things of this. That's not normal. That's why you have to teach your children.
Exactly.
So when it happens, they can go, you know what? My mom and them told me I ain't supposed to be involved in that, or supposed to tell her when stuff like that happens. And I say mama because mama is usually the closest. Mama is usually the person that the child trusts. So that bond should be there. And if it's not, there has to be there's some bond that child has made with some adult figure that has to be a trustful bond, that they know that adult will protect them or stop someone else from hurting them.
Exactly. Leonard, what's going on at 3 o'clock today, sir?
Man, if you did not get a chance to hear the show in its entirety, you can log on to www.dkmmediagroup.com at 3 o'clock Eastern today.
Good deal. K with an E. K with an E. Are you with us?
Yes.
Get you to pray. Let me get you the prayers out today, sis.
I knew you would. Father God, we come to you with our heads and humble hearts. Father God, we come to you with thanks, Father God. We thank you for this broadcast. Thank you for the participants, Father God. We thank you for the hearers, Father God. Father, we ask you to continue to bless the line, Father God, all those that's on it, all the families represented on it, all, Father God. Father, we ask you to keep each and every last one of us, continue looking on the sick and the shut in, being in the room and the children, the homeless and incarcerated. Father God, we ask you to just have us to do what you have us to do, talk your talk and walk your walk. In Jesus' name, amen, amen, and amen.
And amen again, and amen, and amen, and amen again. Absolutely, absolutely. It's been a great broadcast. Cassandra.
Yes, sir.
I know something.
Yes, sir.
I know something that's not a secret.
What?
Jesus loves us. God Almighty. God Almighty. We're talking about a secret. I know something that's not a secret. And he loves you too. Each and every one of you that's listening to the sound of my voice, he loves you. Yes, Lord, he loves you. Listen, it's been a great broadcast. I want to thank everybody for joining us. More than that, I want to thank you for allowing DKM Media Group and Associates and the Morning Glow for being a part of your morning. It is 10:02. You're about to exit the Morning Glow. But before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us because we're certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody and give them a hug because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. That we shine some of this light in you from the Morning Glow. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in and let your light so shine. If you get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might find some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? Have a great day. Take care of each other, and please be blessed. I will talk to you tomorrow.